Lawmakers are considering a major tax overhaul, replacing the state income tax with increased sales taxes. The plan has the governor's backing, but faces a critical hurdle, finding enough revenue to fill the gap. KCTV5's Missouri Capitol reporter Hannah Falcon has more from Jefferson City.
Today, in the first public discussion on this proposal, it revealed a divided room. We heard equal amounts of opposition and support for the bill. Here's how the plan works. If passed, voters would decide in November whether to allow the General Assembly to implement new sales taxes. Revenue from those taxes would directly replace income tax revenue. Supporters argue eliminating income tax would attract more young professionals and businesses, but critics worry about the impact on those who live on fixed incomes, like the elderly and disabled.
But I made the decision, along with my partner, who's from St. Louis, to move down to Florida, largely because Florida does not have any income tax.
Having to pay more for goods and services would be absolutely devastating.
This Republican plan to phase out the income tax would take years. The bill estimates that by 2031, Missourians could stop paying income tax. Reporting in Jefferson City, I'm Hannah Falcon, KCTV 5 News.